There is a bottle under $100 that smells like it cost 3 times that, and I know this because I have worn both. I have stood at the counter with the expensive one on my left wrist and the cheaper one on my right, waiting to see which one lasted longer, which one drew more comments, which one I kept reaching for. And more times than I am comfortable admitting, it was not the one I had paid $300 for. I'm Vivienne Marchand. I've been buying, wearing, and studying perfume since I was in my 20s, and I have spent enough of my own money to know this. The most expensive bottle is very rarely the most rewarding. What you're paying for is the glass, the campaign, the name on the cap, and the story a brand has decided you want to believe. The juice. The juice is often a much smaller part of that equation than any of them will tell you. You've spent decades trusting your own nose. You know when a room smells expensive versus when it just costs a lot. That is a distinction most people never develop, and you have earned it. So today, I am bringing you 10 fragrances that genuinely punch above their price. All of them available for under $100 in a standard buyable size, and all of them tested honestly by a woman who has no loyalty to the counter. By the end of this, you'll have a short list of bottles worth keeping, and I will tell you exactly where each one falls short because none of them is perfect, and you deserve to know that before you spend your money. But first, let me tell you what I mean by a perfume that should cost more, because most of what gets sold to you as value really isn't. The fragrance you're wearing is a 3-act composition. The top notes are what the salesperson sprays on your wrist. Pretty, sometimes beautiful, always brief. They're gone in 20 minutes. The heart notes carry the story. And the base notes, the deep amber, the warm woods, the real musks, are what clings to your skin 6 hours later and makes someone cross a room to ask what you're wearing. The industry profits when you react to the first act and buy before the base has had time to perform. The bottles I'm bringing you today all have a base worth waiting for. The woman the counter loves is the one who buys the name. The woman I'm talking to today buys the perfume. Now, let me tell you about my neighbor when I was a young woman. There was a woman who lived 3 houses down, a Mrs. Whitfield, who was the most elegantly scented person I had ever encountered. Every room she entered, she left a signature. Warm, deep, a little powdery, entirely unforgettable. I finally asked her what she wore. She told me, and I went home and found it. It was under $40. I have never forgotten that lesson, and it is the reason I keep this list. Let's begin. Number 10, Zara Ebony Wood from the Zara Fragrance Collection. Around $35 for a full bottle. I know what you're thinking, Zara, the fast fashion store. And yes, I understand the hesitation. But this fragrance, Ebony Wood, was developed with Jo Malone CBE herself. And it smells like the better sibling of a Jo Malone cologne that would cost you $115. The opening is grapefruit, crisp and coastal with a touch of cypress. The base is coffee and vetiver, which gives it an unexpected depth and warmth that most Jo Malone fragrances simply do not have. I'll be honest, the longevity is not extraordinary. 2 to 3 hours on the skin, which is typical of the linear cologne format Jo Malone's house has always used. But on fabric, on a scarf or a collar, it lasts considerably longer. For $35, it is a remarkable thing. It is not identical to any specific Jo Malone bottle. It is simply cut from the same cloth, a little darker, a little richer, and a fraction of the price. Number 9, Lattafa Khamrah. Between $30 and $45 for 100 milliliters. Lattafa is a Dubai house that has become impossible to ignore in the fragrance community, and Khamrah is their most discussed release. The notes are cinnamon, dates, praline, vanilla, benzoin, amber, and tonka bean, which sounds on paper like a dessert that you should be eating rather than wearing. And on the skin, in the first hour, it does read very sweet. I will tell you honestly, this one is polarizing. There are women who find it a little blunt, a little synthetic in the opening. I think those women are not wrong, but if you give it 2 hours, something interesting happens. The sweetness settles into the amber and tonka base, and what emerges is a warm oriental sillage that reads genuinely expensive. The longevity is exceptional, 8 to 10 hours on most skin types. For $40 per 100 milliliters, you simply cannot argue with the performance. What you cannot expect is the refinement of a European perfumery. It is a different aesthetic entirely. But if you wear warm orientals in winter, Khamrah belongs on your shelf. Number 8. Glossier You. Around $78 for 50 milliliters. This one is for the woman who wants to smell entirely like herself, only better. Glossier You is built around pink pepper, iris, ambrette seed, and ambrox, which is a sophisticated musk molecule. The result is a fragrance that adapts to body chemistry in a way that most skin scent perfumes only claim to do. On my skin, it is clean and warm, faintly powdery, gently floral, entirely elegant. Here's where I have to be honest with you, and I will be, because no one at the counter was honest with me. The longevity is the fragrance's great weakness. On most skin types, it lasts 2 to 4 hours, and it fades quietly rather than finishing with a strong base. If you have dry skin, you will want to layer it over an unscented moisturizer or reapply in the afternoon. I once paid 4 times the price for a scent that, side by side with one of these, I genuinely could not tell apart. That stung, and it is exactly why I started keeping this list. For the concentration and the quality of the musks in Glossier You, the price is honest. The longevity is not the fragrance's strongest argument. Know that before you fall in love with the opening. Number 7. Estée Lauder Bronze Goddess Eau Fraîche. Around $85 for 3.4 ounces. This is a seasonal release, and if you have not found it yet, I want you to know it exists, because it smells like the most perfect beach you have ever sat on. Bronze Goddess Eau Fraîche is light and warm, tiare flower, coconut, amber, and sandalwood with an overall effect that reads golden and sun-kissed and effortless. It belongs to that particular category of fragrance that smells expensive not through complexity, but through perfect simplicity. Every note is doing exactly what it should. Nothing is fighting for attention. There is a composure to it that costs a great deal more to achieve than most houses admit. It is not the most long-lasting fragrance on this list, 3 to 4 hours on the skin, so it is best thought of as a daytime or warm weather choice. But at $85 for a bottle that size, it is one of the finest summer fragrances available at any price. The house that makes it is, of course, one of the great conglomerates. You are not buying an artisanal creation. You are buying a formula that has been refined over decades and that hundreds of thousands of women return to every single year. There is a reason for that. Number 6, Giorgio Armani Sì, around $80 for 30 milliliters. Let me stop on this one, because it is the one most women get wrong. Sì is described as a modern chypre, and it is, though a gentler and more accessible one than the great chypres of the 1970s. The opening is blackcurrant nectar with mandarin, bright and feminine and immediately appealing. The heart is orange blossom with rose, and the base is vanilla, patchouli, and a beautiful warm wood. What lifts this above its price point is the quality of the transition. From the citrus opening to the warm dry down, Sì does what only well-made fragrances do. It evolves without any of its stages feeling like a different perfume. It holds together. The 30 milliliter bottle is approximately $80, which brings it comfortably under our ceiling, and the concentration is strong enough that a small bottle lasts longer than you might expect. I'll be honest, the sillage is moderate rather than tremendous. You will smell beautiful. The room will not smell of you from the doorway. For that projection, you would need to move to the Sì Intense, which does cross the $100 line in most sizes. But for what the standard Sì does quietly and well, it is worth every dollar, Let me step back for a moment because I want to say something about what these fragrances have in common, because there is a pattern, and if you find it, you will be able to spot these overperformers yourself in any drugstore or discount aisle. The bottles that smell more expensive than they are almost always have a real base, not just a hint of vanilla or a whisper of musk, an actual foundation of amber, wood, benzoin, or true animal musks. These are the ingredients that cost money and that the industry shaves when it needs to protect margins. When you smell a fragrance that costs far less than it should, and something about it clings, something about it makes you check your wrist an hour later, you are almost certainly smelling a genuine base. Keep that in your nose. It is the thing no one at the counter will ever explain. Number 5, Phlur Missing Person. Around $88 for 50 milliliters. This fragrance went viral, and then it went more viral, and I understand why. Missing Person is a musky skin scent in the tradition of clean, intimate warmth. The notes are bergamot, neroli blossom, jasmine, orris, sandalwood, and musk. What it smells like on the skin is the person you most want to be close to. It has a softness that should not be this addictive, and is. The longevity is good, 4 to 6 hours on most skin, which is honest for a musk-forward composition at this concentration. The compliments it generates are disproportionate to its price. I had someone stop me twice in the same afternoon once, and I was wearing Missing Person. I am not saying this because I want to sell you something. I have nothing to sell. I am saying this because it happened and because you should know. The one caveat is this: if you expect a presence, a sillage that enters a room, this is not that fragrance. It is intimate, close, nearly inaudible from across a table. Some women find that an exquisite quality. Some want more performance. Know which one you are. Number 4, Burberry Her Eau de Toilette. Around $65 to $70 for 30 milliliters. I flagged prices at time of research. Check the Burberry US website for the exact current figure, as prices do shift. Burberry Her EDT is a fruity floral that does something unusual. It starts as a bright berry, pear, and strawberry composition, which sounds like it ought to belong to a 25-year-old in a drugstore shelf. And then the dry down reveals something much more sophisticated. The heart is honeysuckle, lily of the valley, and rose, and the base is a clean musk with cedar. It is the base that keeps me interested. Where most berry florals of this type evaporate cheerfully and vanish by lunchtime, Burberry Her lingers because the cedarwood keeps the musk anchored. For a woman who loves something feminine and wearable but wants something with a little more staying power than most summer fragrances offer, this is a genuine find. Longevity is moderate, 3 to 4 hours on the skin, with slightly more on fabric. Honest for the category and the concentration. Number 3, Lancôme La Vie Est Belle. Around $49 for 30 milliliters. Now, here's where it gets interesting. La Vie Est Belle is one of the most commercially successful fragrances of the last 15 years. And its popularity makes people suspicious of it in the way that anything beloved by many becomes suspect to those who came to it first. Let me tell you what it actually is. It is an iris, patchouli, and vanilla gourmand, with some praline and jasmine in the heart, and a bergamot and pear opening that is fresh and slightly tart. What the industry tends not to mention when it sells you La Vie Est Belle is that the concentration in even the small bottle is excellent, and the longevity is remarkable. This is a fragrance that will last 6 to 8 hours on most skin types, which is more than many fragrances at 2 or 3 times the price. At $49 for the 30 milliliter bottle, you are getting the full composition, not a watered-down version. The charge against it is that it is ubiquitous, and yes, you may smell it on other women. Whether that troubles you is a matter of temperament. To my nose, ubiquity is not the same as cheapness. It is the same as a good idea that many people had at once. Number 2, Clinique Aromatics Elixir. around $50 to $65 depending on where you buy it. I am aware that Aromatics Elixir has been around since 1971, which means some of you wore it in a previous decade and set it aside. I want to ask you to pick it up again because what it is doing for $50 is frankly inexplicable. Aromatics Elixir is a Kypra, which means it is built on a foundation of oak moss, woody notes, and a complex floral heart of rose, ylang-ylang, jasmine, and tuberose. The oak moss has been modified slightly over the decades in line with IFRA allergen guidelines, as it has been in every Kypra made since the European rules were updated, and yes, this does mean the very old formulation smelled different to what is in the bottle today. That is a documented fact, not a conspiracy. What remains is still one of the most characterful fragrances available at any price. It opens with chamomile, clary sage, bergamot, and geranium, and it dries to a deep, woody, incense-inflected base that I find extraordinary. The longevity is excellent, 5 to 7 hours on most skin. It is a fragrance for the woman who has stopped performing and started simply being. I have heard it described as difficult, as challenging, as not for everyone. Those things are not criticisms. They are descriptions of a fragrance with a point of view. That is what an overperformer looks like. And at number 1, Narciso Rodriguez for her Eau de Toilette, around $59 to $65 for 50 milliliters. I have to start by telling you that no one does musk the way Narciso Rodriguez does musk. This is not hyperbole. It is the consensus of an entire community of people who have smelled everything. For her, Eau de Toilette is a musky, woody, slightly floral composition built around a central musk accord that is warm and skin-like and entirely addictive. The top note has a faint floral sweetness, there's a breath of rose in the heart, and then it settles into a long, clean, intimate musk that does not fade so much as meld into your skin and become you. The longevity is extraordinary for an Eau de Toilette, and this is the detail I want you to hold on to. Longevity is not about the concentration printed on the label. It is about the quality and tenacity of the base ingredients. Narciso Rodriguez for her EDT has a base that would be at home in a fragrance costing 3 times as much. It is the first thing I recommend to anyone who tells me they want to smell beautiful, effortlessly, all day. And it is $59. The counter will not tell you about any of this. The counter is selling you the story. The story has its own price, and it is not small. Tell me in the comments what you are wearing and how long it lasts on your skin and your skin type. I want to build a real record from real women, so the next woman who finds this channel knows what to expect from her own chemistry, not from a press release, from someone who has actually worn it. Next time, I am going to tell you about something that was in every woman's bathroom cabinet before 1958, quietly removed, and replaced with a product that costs more and does less. You are going to want to hear that one. Until next time, wear what's truly yours. You've spent a lifetime training it, and what you wear should reflect you, not someone else's marketing budget.